What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 137, and we start today's episode off with a game in the FA Cup here against Chelsea. So yeah, trying to take on Chelsea and trying to beat them. They're the league leaders, but this is in the FA Cup, so anything can happen. And just before I start, I want to say I've been reading a lot of comments on previous episodes from people saying that I should switch from 3 at the back to one with 4 at the back, but to be honest, I want to keep playing the 3-5-2 because I think we get the best out of the players in this squad in a 3-5-2. We can sort of assign the best players into one starting 11, and we also get a lot more highlights as well. You know, we get it's more entertaining, I guess, and it's more of a challenge as well. So that's why I want to keep playing the 3-5-2. But thank you for your comments. I take your suggestions on board, and the 4 at the back would help us defend a little bit better. But I think 3 at the back creates more of a challenge for me, which is what a lot of people miss seeing at Napoli, and also of course there's more highlights to show as well. But anyway, we take on Chelsea in the FA Cup, and Gareth Bale returning to White Hart Lane, trying to have less of a dramatic game as the one he did have in the last time he came to White Hart Lane, but still get a goal there would have been nice for him. But it was good save by Lloris. Then in the 25th minute, he saw Chalobah let fly against one of his former clubs, but unfortunately the shot went harmlessly wide and into the stands. However, from the goal kick, Courtois launches it forward towards Gareth Bale. It's Vlad Chiriches who wins the header, and it comes to Julian Draxler. Draxler gets past the man with the step over, plays it backwards to Chalobah. He finds Connor Wickham. Wickham sees the run of Danny Welbeck, picks him out. First touch is great, the second touch is even better. Chips the ball over Courtois. And how many times have we seen this season the ball just crossed the line before coming out again? It was ridiculous. We've seen it like 6 or 7 times already this year. And as Danny Welbeck chips the ball over to Courtois, it's going into the back of the net. And I think it was Azpilicueta at the far post there who acrobatically cleared the ball off the line. But unfortunately for him, it did indeed just go over it. So I think it was Azpilicueta, was it? We'll have to wait and see on this replay. But it was a lovely finish by Welbeck regardless. And yeah, I think it is Azpilicueta. He gets the ball away, but only after it's just crossed the line, as you can see there, had indeed gone over the line. So 1-0 to Spurs, and it was Danny Welbeck who got the goal. And in the 30th minute here, we had a good chance to make it 2 with Leal Gutierrez finding Brian Carrasco. The 2 former Millwall men link up before Carrasco takes it around Marcelo with a lovely little Berber spin. He keeps on going, ends up swinging across into the box, and Welbeck's bicycle kick just goes off target. So that would have been a lovely goal by Welbeck, and it's still 1-0. That was it for the first half. In the second half, you see Tom Carroll trying to find Julian Draxler. It's cleared away only as far as Chiriches, who picks it up, gets past 2 Chelsea defenders, swings it across. There's Connor Wickham with a free header, and it is a good finish by Wickham. And as I said a few episodes ago, you know, I really do think that we signed Wickham. He did cost us quite a bit of money for a player that's, you know, regularly going to be on the bench, but whenever he does get in the side, he tends to play well and tends to get the goal. So good finish by good finish by Wickham, and it is Spurs 2, Chelsea 0. And as things stand, we were going through to the next round, and you know, we did play quite a strong side in this as well. You know, in the cup competitions, in the FA Cup and the Capital One Cup and Europa League, I do tend to play a weak side, but in this game, I did pick up a really strong side, and there were a few players getting into the side I don't usually play. Players such as Tom Carroll getting a start, but even so, it was still a very strong side. And with us being 2-0 up here, we almost made it 3-0 with Cher's header being well saved by Courtois. But to be honest, Chelsea didn't really turn up, and other than the Gareth Bale chance, they didn't really have too many attempts on goal. And in the 73rd minute, you see Barkley let fly from an absolute mile out, but Courtois had to be on his toes to make the save, and it's still 2-0. But really, if anyone's going to score the 3rd goal, it's going to be us, which is exactly why in the 82nd minute, Chelsea broke through with Schürrle. Schürrle crossed the ball in towards Victor Moses at the far post. Towns lost out, and Moses found the bottom corner. So out of nothing, Chelsea had the goal. You know, we were cruising through to the next round, and then you see in the 82nd minute, Victor Moses scores, and Towns was a little bit weak there. Obviously, he's not really a defensive player, and that is the problem with playing 3 at the back. So, as I said, I do take your opinions on board, and I do understand that we are getting exploited a little bit because we don't have defensively minded wingers. And of course, that does mean when crossfield balls go across the pitch and the wings get exploited a little bit, we don't have fullbacks to cover. But even so, I do like the 3 at the back, so we are going to keep faithful with that for the time being. But we did win the game by 2-1, so Victor Moses' late goal would only be a consolation, and we are through to the next round of the FA Cup, which is great because if we can't win the league this year, then winning one of the cup competitions is definitely a priority. You know, getting into the top 4 is of course the main priority, but I still want to win something, and I really do believe the FA Cup could be that competition. Now we've knocked out what is probably the best side in the country at the moment, Chelsea. So that was good to get the win by 2-1, and we are through to the next round of the FA Cup. Now the following game was against Everton here in midweek, and as I said, we did have most of the players playing in this game. However, there would be a few absentees due to the fact that we, of course, played on a weekend in the FA Cup and we did put out a really strong side. So with that in mind, there would be a few players getting chances they don't usually get. One of those was Jonjo Anderson playing in the playmaker role. Now, Anderson is a player who, you know, I've tried to send him out on loan. Since the day we signed him from Millwall, I put him on the loan list, and unfortunately not a single offer has came in for him, which means that Anderson's kind of getting wasted a little bit because he doesn't really get too much game time. But whenever he does play, he does do quite well. And in this game against Everton, nothing really happened until the 32nd minute when Everton gave the ball away here with Shane Duffy, and it was the other player getting the ball away, but it came to Anderson, who picked the ball up and just levered it from outside the area. And what a strike by Jonjo Anderson. He has scored 2 goals for Spurs. They've both come in the league and they've both been fantastic. The goal against Norwich was really nice, a couple of nice skill moves and a good finish into the top corner, and this one is a great strike from just outside the area into the top corner. And the 17-year-old is proving that even when he doesn't get on the pitch very often, even though he doesn't get on the pitch very often, he still can play very well. It is a real shame that no club came in for him to offer him a loan deal, because he doesn't get the game time I want him to, but unfortunately there's nothing I can do about that. But next year I really am hopeful that a club will come in for him straight away. He can spend a year at maybe a Championship side or a lower half Premier League side, get into the first 11 on a regular basis and perform massively, because he's such a decent playmaker. It's just that there's so many good CMs in this club, we can't really play him. But anyway, in the 45th minute Everton came through and James McCarthy's strike was deflected and hit the bar before Velios put it in the far post. So unfortunately for us, Everton did have an equalising goal just before half time. And it was one of those where we just didn't get the luck. The strike deflected off Gutierrez and it went straight to Velios after it hit the bar, and it was a simple tap in. So Everton 1, Spurs 1. In the 58th minute you see Fernando get on the ball. Some nice passing still. Fernando find Daniel Sturridge down the right hand side. Real good chance. He plays it back towards Carrasco. Crosses the ball in. Lamela goes for the header. It's cleared away only as far as I think it was Nelson Oliveira at the far post who heads it across the bar, onto the bar, sorry, and it's still 1-1. So we were trying so hard to get a second goal. There's still one apiece, but in the 66th minute, how about that for a challenge by Cher? Really good interception. I said before, he really does make those last ditch challenges look really nicely. We made a trouble substitution here. Draxler, Pritchard and Klein came on, so we needed to get Draxler on the pitch really. We needed to get some creativity going, and he hasn't really done too much since coming in, but even so, hopefully he will play better coming off the bench here. But we do make the triple substitution. However, as soon as those subs came onto the pitch, Everton had a corner and it was crossed into the box by Kevin Morales, I think it was, towards the head of, was it Shane Duffy or Delgado Villar who goes for the header, sorry. It's cleared off the line by Anderson, and Lloris decides not to pick the ball up, so that means Anderson's got to hoof it forward. He doesn't get it very far. Paulinho's header isn't cleared, and unfortunately Delgado Villar puts the ball into the back of the net and makes it Everton 2, Spurs 1 with 6 minutes to go. So aside from Goodison Park, were in front in this game late on, and that was a real shame. I don't know why Lloris decided not to pick the ball up, because it wouldn't have been a pass back, because it was a deflection, not a pass from Jonjo Anderson on the line. But even so, he decided not to. Anderson cleared it. It wasn't cleared away very well. It was my fault, and unfortunately, Everton made it 2-1 here. And a few minutes after that, how about this? Delgado Villar looks for the ball, but it ends up going through to Paulinho. Paulinho is going through one-on-one, and it just had to be our former player, Paulinho, who I gave to Everton in exchange for the services of Ross Barkley, who gets the goal and seals the win. So Everton 3, Spurs 1, and we are on course for just our 2nd defeat in the league this season, or maybe the 3rd, but even so, it's Paulinho who gets it, and it's 3-1, and it just had to be Paulinho, didn't it? As he makes a statement there, and says you should have kept hold of me. But straight from that, Sturridge plays the ball forward towards Eric Lamela. Lamela gets onto it and crosses the ball into the face of the area, and Alex Pritchard wins the header and makes it 3-2. So we get ourselves back in the game, but it was only going to be a consolation, because pretty much straight from kick-off, Everton cleared the ball, and it would finish at 3-2. So we do lose again, unfortunately. It's a real shame, but there's nothing I can do about it, and it's just becoming more and more of a challenge now. And as I said, the 3 at the back is causing us some problems, but hopefully it's a good challenge to watch, you know, try and see me adapt to a new style of formation really. But anyway, after that we had a international qualifier with France. A European Championship qualifier, I should say, with France against Belgium. It was actually our first game in charge of France. We drew it 1 goal each, and the following game was against Finland, which we won this one by 4 goals to 0. I think it was it 3-0 or 4-0? 3-0, okay. We won the game by 3 goals to 0. As you can see, currently we are sitting top of our qualification group. 6 games played, 4 wins, 2 draws, with 14 points and 6 points behind, 6 points in front of Sweden in third. So yeah, we're doing okay. We look like we're on course to qualify for the European Championships, and that's not a real surprise to be honest, because our group isn't the strongest. It's got some good teams in there, but not the strongest of groups. And yeah, we should be okay to qualify, and we've only managed 2 games. We had 1 draw and 1 win, and yeah, we should qualify for an international tournament, which would be good. That European Championships will be 2020, and that will be at the end of next season. So yeah, there you go. But anyway, we take on Liverpool here for a game at White Hart Lane in the Barclays Premier League. Now, currently as things stand, Liverpool are in 5th place, so this is a huge game really, because if we can't be title contenders, then we do need to make sure we don't drop out of the top 4. And as we take on Liverpool, they're going to be a side that are going to be challenging for that top 4 position, and they almost took the lead in the 29th minute. Thankfully for us, Hugo Lloris made a very good save to deny Fabio Borini. The Italian strode forward there, and the man that used to play for Sunderland on loan couldn't finish it. Good save by Lloris, and it's still 0-0. But in the 35th minute here, you see Martin Kelly lose out to Eric Lamela, really sloppy. Lamela goes down the left-hand side, very good chance here as there's men going into the box. He fizzes it in, the shot takes a deflection, and it just goes wide. So still 0-0 unfortunately, and there was still no goals. But in the 40th minute here, we win the ball with Cher and give it to Hugo Lloris, who plays it back to Cher. He plays the ball out wide to Eric Lamela here, and all of our attacks in this game are coming down the left-hand side. And as Barkley gets on the ball, he rolls it through to Julian Drax. So Drax returned his man and finds Chalobah, who plays an amazing ball over top towards Andros Townsend. He fake shots past one and shoots. It's blocked. It falls to Wickham, and Connor Wickham really should have hit the target there. My fault, but even so, I would expect him to get the ball on target there and be a bit more accurate. But it was still 0-0. In the 78th minute, though, as the game was fizzling out, Liverpool get the ball to Jordan Henderson down the right hand side. He skips past Stephen Corker and shoots, but it just goes wide of the post, and the score is still Spurs 0, Liverpool 0 with just over 10 minutes to go. And in the 87th minute, Lloris gets onto the ball here, and the last chance would indeed fall to us, or one of the last chances. We're playing the ball out from the back because Liverpool were jockeying. I couldn't find a route to go forward. Eventually the ball comes to Cher. He finds Andros Townsend. He finds Connor Wickham. Some nice passing, so Jonjo Anderson and Townsend link up together. Towns goes down the left-hand side, gets past Kelly. Really good chance, but the touch was a bit too heavy, and the shot was well blocked and out for a corner there, so I messed up that good chance. And from the corner kick, it is crossed into the box by Jonjo Anderson towards the head of Stephen Corker. Corker's header just goes over the bar, and the game does finish Spurs 0, Liverpool 0. So it's not a loss, but against a side that's really going to be challenging us for a top 4 position, we really could have done with a win in that game. We didn't get it, and that's just how it is. But as always, guys, a big thank you for watching today's video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the episode, please leave a like, so much appreciated, and it really does help my channel out. And I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.